Alright everyone, so what we've got here is I'm just going to show off how I've got this blood oil texture file set up. Yay, Steam, what to do. So what I've got set up right now is probably a real basic winter solid white loadout here for the model with the balaclava and helmet. There are some differences between the different models, so the main four ones that are actually used and don't have any texture issues as far as I can tell are one with a ball cap, one with a boonie hat, one with just a balaclava, and one with the balaclava and a helmet. So there's that. Um, so yeah, the face textures are all, there's a bunch of different face textures and all that. I'm not playing with those right now. But yeah, this is the basic model. It contains most everything outside, well, the head and headgear texture, which is basically the face texture that it loads up. It doesn't contain a lot of the pouches that are on the vest. It contains maybe like a couple, I think maybe a couple small ones, but not much. So let's just go through how it's set up. So I got my base skin. These are all the different ones. There's a couple unused here that are pretty cool, but there's like some texture modeling. There's some texture issues with like the mag pouches on the front. Plus, I think when I was playing with one of them that I really liked, it had mhm, it had some crashing issues that once I got rid of it, it was fine for like cloak and dagger. So I don't know what was wrong with that model. So there's that. A bunch of extra pieces that have like just construction stuff that I just leave in the file in case I need it for something later. It's invisible, like, but I leave the base skin visible just so like any minor little gaps that might have been formed as I'm creating my different selections are filled. So there's that. So we start with the pants. So the pants are here and here, and I've got them set up. You might see solid color options and camouflage options. So there's grooves I can turn on and off. So I don't. And the way it's set up, if we go to solid color, so we have all these different color options. They're all overlays, and you can see the masking, layer masking, and I got a dedicated wrinkle for them. So if I want to if I want to switch color, I just play with laser visibility. If I want to make a new color, I would just duplicate one of these layers and then go to here and do what I need to do. So in this case, I had white on. So we're gonna change this up to something different. So let's make a camouflage. I got tiger stripe deserts visible, but you'll notice that all these camouflage patterns are in groups because there's 6 pieces. So pockets are going to be made using a slightly different section of material than the rest of the pant leg. And so what I have separated is, if you take a look, this there's the pockets on both legs, but you've got this pocket here, the bottom portion, the main big portion of it is its own separate thing, and then the flap is its own separate thing. I don't really depends on the model if the pockets were going to show up. It barely shows up with the holster. And then on this one might get blocked by a couple leg magazine pouches. I believe they're on the ball cap model. But yeah, there's that. You can see all the different wrinkles and all that there. But I got all these. But basically, what I do is I get the camouflage, I set it up, but it's in this group. So all I have to do to switch it is turn it on and off. So we got ourselves some tiger stripe. I'll run through everything I got here. It's a lot. I got some winter tiger stripe that's pretty cool. Now that I've got a decent selection of winter camo, I might, if I were to release something, I could make like a frostbite skin thing, maybe something like that, possibly, if I decide not to be lazy. Some Russian stuff. Then some of your classics. Not really the biggest fan of this sample. I might change it later. I don't really see myself using it though. It's not really much used at all. This 3-color desert is really nice. I had an older sample that was nice, that was seamless. I think this one's also seamless. But what I love about this sample here is it's a little more subdued than the one I had, so it's a lot closer to what S Squad actually had on his CENTCOM models that use the desert. It's like it's really damn close, and that's one of the issues I had when I did a comparison. Is I noticed that like this brown was a bit brighter and just more bold, and it's like not really what I was going for. So I really like the look. You can see the different coloring. Good old M81. I think it's got some seam stuff to deal with. I tried to hide the seams under knee pads or anything I could as possible. I might need to redo this. I might need to get another M81 sample. It's a good coloring. It's good coloring. It's just the seams are annoying. But yeah, some DPM. Gotta sell some various ATACs. And now we're here into tactical land. Freaking, this stuff looks so dumb. I mean, it looks cool, but it's just like, why? U.S. forces. I'm not the happiest with the samples, but they, for the most part, they work all right. So yeah, there's four different patterns for U.S. forces. One of them is purely for gear. The idea was that you could pair this gear, with this one pattern with any of these three. So that's why it's not on the pants, only for gear. But now we got ourselves UCP, but proper shading, and coloring. It's not like super crazy dark like in Heroes Unleashed, as it currently stands as a version one. Well, I don't think version one. Yeah, version one shouldn't have changed anything. Yeah. Warpath Desert. Got ourselves the U.S. Marine Corps' disruptive overwhite pattern here, which is pretty good. But our multicam. I recently just spent upgrading some of my samples. Multicam black got upgraded, so this like yellowish is more visible. The Alpine, I made the contrast. It's like it's easier to tell that it's not just white. It's like actually got some stuff in there. Tropic, I finally got ourselves a good sample. That's because what I had one was that's like a lot of gray, and it's like Multicam Tropic is not really a gray pattern. It's actually I might still have it loaded. Where would it be? That pesky thing. I must have already replaced and gotten rid of it because it's bad. But actually good. And you'll notice that the camouflage patterns aren't whenever I maybe like leave this one visible. Doesn't change anything. The reasoning. Each camouflage pattern has its own wrinkle layer. What this allows me to do is I can adjust. Mainly what I've done to maybe that's shading or doesn't come up right or not enough contrast. Is I'll go so here I'll go here. And pretty much through adjusting this, I can do it individually for each pattern as needed, and it won't affect any others that are already good. That might have worked with a different wrinkle shading and contrast stuff. So that's really powerful for me to do. Probably add some file size to it, but works well. My 4 versions of multicam. So yeah, this one I really liked it first, and then it's just kind of like, what am I looking at? It doesn't really reflect pictures. This one, a bit too desaturated. Not quite what I was looking for. This one was good. It's a good gradient pattern. Then I got a sample that was of the fabric itself. I really like this one. It seems a lot more realistic. Not even sure why I'm keeping these 3. I might just delete them at some point. Multicam digital. I don't think this is a real pattern. I think it's just someone taking a digital template and putting multicam colors and stuff on it. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool. We have the United Kingdom's multi-terrain pattern. That's pretty similar to multicam. I'm gonna have to review this sample, see how it looks compared to real life, but I mean it looks pretty nice. Good old Scorpion W2, pretty green. But I really like it. It's a seamless pattern. with gradients and all that. Does not have the vertical splotches you would find in multicam. But yeah, it looks nice. AOR Universal. This is supposedly what it is. But it is a thing that's happened. It was done in some U.S. Army testing. So there's that. So as far as regular AORs, we're probably familiar with. There's also the Woodland version. Notice the vertical orientation. That's one of the things about it. And then AOR 1, the desert, is actually horizontal. That's some interesting stuff there. How it's developed. Yeah, let's make something, I guess. I don't know what to make. Let's I guess we could settle for an upgraded winter one, right? Yeah, let's try that. So we'll make ourselves an updated winter one as we go. That should be fun. So there's that. Get rid of the group. Undershirt. Just a couple things here. I'll leave it at green because I feel like any vegetation in snowy areas is probably going to be usually green, or at least that's what I've seen. The coat. Um, I have my original file that has it set up with camouflage patterns on the coat, but there's just a few issues I have that it's just I'm never going to use it, and I don't like it. So one is the hood. The hood has some unwanted symmetry because if you look, this is the section that controls the hood that you'll see. It's not up, but it's like hanging over the back of the vest. But because it's only half, you're going to always have the seam here, and it's going to be symmetric, and it just really bothers me looking at it. Another issue is if the coat down at the bottom part of the coat, which you actually see here, that's one of the interesting ways how this one's set up. There's a lot of skins. I think even like Squad's older skins, even like CENTCOM, they were set up where the bottom of the coat is always, or like blouse or whatever, was always on this section of the texture, but now it's here. But I don't think that would change it. You still have the top part of the coat, as you can see. But what ends up happening is you have the zipper borders. Those are fine, or I think yeah, that should be it. Zipper stuff. That's fine where the zippers are. Because like there's a break in the camouflage there, but that's realistic. Just the way it's made. What it's not realistic is having this back seam where there's a break in the camouflage that shouldn't be there, and that bothers me looking at it. So I just don't do it. There's that. So now we're at the vest. Notice different settings. The camouflage is on the bottom, so I don't have all the patterns set up on the vest. It's not some patterns I haven't seen on gear like that. Yeah, let's go ahead here and but yeah, coat we'll just leave that basic white, I guess. Yeah, if we go back to the coat, it's set up the same way. Actually, get a little more detailed here. The sleeves are different on the ball cap, boonie hat, and balaclava, and the just balaclava, or then with the balaclava helmet model. They're actually different. So switch them out and just switch the wrinkle file without changing the color. Then I just switch the visibility of the patches, which is really good. I think there's minor differences with like the ball cap model compared to just the other, compared to the boonie hat and balaclava sleeve wrinkle, but they're so minor that it works. It works fine. In all honesty, I probably could just not really care what sleeves I'm using depending on the model because I don't. It's not like there's any specific gear. I'm not sure if there might be subtle details in the model though, but it works. I mean, it's just something I got set up. All these different colors. Most of them are from Federal Standard 595. Set to overlay. But yeah, the vest. So camouflage is on the bottom for a reason. So we have M81 loaded here. But what I can do with it now, some vest, like say multicam, and again, they each have their own individual wrinkle layer. So multicam, right? A lot of the vest I'll see with multicam, the webbing and all that is still made of multicam fabric. So you'll see some of the details in open it up here, you'll see the different things. Like you can see that how it moves independently. To be realistic. However, some patterns like M81, you'll typically see the vest with a solid color for like for the webbing and border stuff. So what I can do is I can go to webbing and text, and I basically first the vest I just made 5 different versions. I made the olive drab was already there. I made a desert one and coyote brown. These two colors actually there's the gear files that hold most of the pouches that are on the vest and some of the other details like the I think like the camelback and stuff. Um, but pretty much those files actually in Blood Oil had 3 versions. They had olive drab, desert, and coyote brown. So I figured they're already there, so I made those 2 colors, but I also figured I'd want white for any winter stuff. And then black for any like nighttime stuff. But I have that ability, these 5 colors. I can always make more as needed, but these 5 colors work really well for giving me different settings here. And the solid color is set up the same way, just completely solid. So there we go. We got ourselves our M81 with with our solid color border and webbing. So there we go there. But we're going to our winter stuff, right? So I don't know. Let's put some multicam Alpine and see how it looks. We got ourselves the Velcro pieces. That I can change based on the same 5 colors. Leave it at white. Multicam Alpine. It doesn't show up quite as well in the vest maybe as I'd like. Let's see what else patterns you got. No. Cryptek Yeti. You know what? This works. This works. I can get with this. So there's the vest and pouch setup. Now I still need to set up the gear file to put on camouflage. I've been lazy. This layer is actually the fabric effect that I put on. I got a good texture of some 5550 nylon cotton ripstop fabric and put it on, so that way it wasn't quite as smooth. So let's take a look at the difference. It's subtle, but it's nice. It's subtle but noticeable, especially when you're looking close. Um, so I leave it on default. So shoes. We got 2 different ones that are available. The tan ones here, and the browns that I had loaded. I'm going to leave the brown ones. For the gloves, we got 4 varieties. You can see them labeled. We got ourselves some black gray outdoor research, green black Oakleys, some dark green and black mechanics, then some dark green and black rogue. I'll leave it on the black gray ones for winter stuff. Leg gear preset. So it's interesting that the leg gear is actually different depending on which model we're looking at, and you can see they're labeled by name. So the balaclava helmet doesn't have any knee pads, nor does it have the leg straps for magazine pouches on the left thigh. All of them have the holster here, and they all have the same belt. I didn't feel like changing color of the belt. Figure part of like the CIA look and just kind of tactical stuff is kind of having the solid color maybe a little different. Just give us an interesting aesthetic here. So that's what the ball cap model looks like. So boonie hat, so it has 1 knee pad, but no straps here. And it's actually, I think it originally came in this brown color. But also, because I had the olive dry thing from the bulk, I just reconstructed, hey, have both options depending on what I'm trying to do. Then the balaclava has both knee pads, but no magazine pouch on the left thigh. So I like ball cap model. Let's leave it at that. This is if I wanted to, if I really wanted to. Two different mismatching knee pads. I don't really feel like doing it. It's just there. I think I was playing around if an Arma knee pad. Let's just say no. Can always get it for later. Then there's some dirt. Dirt doesn't really look right on the winter stuff. So that's the basic setup of it. So there's I guess a different winter one. You got one of my winter Tiger Stripe versions that I found, and then ATAX Arctic Tundra Extreme. So there's all that. Pretty cool setup. Let's make then of course from here once it's done I would save it as an RSB and do what I need to do. So let's go ahead and make something different. Let's make a woodland one. So maybe like more of the transitional woodland environments. We'll leave it at the ball cap for simplicity. I'll turn on the dirt. Yeah, this will be fine. Let's do darker. I like mechanics. Mechanics is cool. Leave the shoes brown. Let's put some ATAX on it. That looks like a good green. So that's an example right there. I could mismatch as much as I want. So there's that. So I guess go for desert. That's an example there of what I could do. I guess jungle, but I mean you can see how how fast I can switch it up. Just have to remember. Oh, that's right. Like there's stuff like the shoes, stuff like that. So if we go for jungle, as I said, that tropic yeah, I got myself a good tropic sample. Really good, really good. Oh, I forgot to change that color there. So I mean, it's easy to miss a few details, but I mean, it's still an easy setup to work with. So yeah, that's just a demo of it, a good 25-minute one. I don't know. I guess just curious if anyone's curious, knew how I wanted that set up. So see you all later.